Yeah, I feel the drawing game, or the replay game, the second game, because I had a poor first game, to be able to bounce back. And yeah, I feel it was my best 70 minutes in Kilkenny jersey. And Bubbles O'Dwyer, who had been very prominent for him, and I was detailed to him on the second day. And I'd like to think I got on top from that day. And it was just from the word go to the word end, and the aftermath of it was just lovely. That was the time when the crowd stayed off the field, and we were able to sit down the field in the middle of it and just take it all in. And JJ, who I'd soldier with for years, I didn't know, but I had an idea this could be his last one. And he started off 7 in front of me and then 3 beside me, and we become so close over it. And near the end, it was just nice to kind of embrace with him at the end of it. And it was just a real titanic battle. It was everything you want about hurling. And once again, Tipperary, were so unlucky not to win it, and contributed handsomely to that day.
And it was actually kind of crazy, Jackie, because looking at 2013 and how good those finals were between Clare and Cork, you're thinking there's no way this can be top. But that drawing game in particular was absolutely immense in terms of quality, tension, everything. It just had absolutely everything, and the excitement at the end, of course, of Bubbles hitting the free. Now, if Hawkeye wasn't there, that could very easily have been given, couldn't it? And it might have been no All-Ireland.
If Hawkeye wasn't there, it would have been given, and we'd be sitting here talking about 2014 being a terrible year, and losing to Tipperary, and that were the margins, and the inches were so close, and that game, Tipperary were so good. I don't know how we were still in that game with a couple of minutes. It was, to be fair, it was down to our forwards, and TJ and Richie Hogan and a few of the lads were just immense that day, and they somehow kept us in it, because as a set of backs, we didn't perform the first day, and we knew the second day. We said, look, lads, our forwards have the measure of the tip backs. All we have to do as the backs is put the clampers on the tip forwards, which isn't easy when it consists of Bonner Maher and Bubbles Dwyer and Seamus Canlon and Noel McGrath. But that was kind of our goal, and that's what we were going after. But that was an unbelievable game. But I suppose looking at the Clare Cork game, it was an unbelievable game as well, but there was no real physicality in it. It lacked that physicality, whereas the typical Kenny was an absolute bruise. We were just bouncing off each other, and that's the way you want those games.
And just looking at it from then on, is it fair to say you were kind of blighted with injury from kind of that point onwards?
I wouldn't say blighted, but I'd say probably I was picking up knocks a bit more easier, and I wasn't recovering probably as quick as previous years. And I'd been blessed up to that point in my career. I had no operation, I had no serious injuries, a few niggles here and there. Then obviously 2015, I broke a bone in my foot and had an operation on that. But after that, I took that winter off and I rehabbed it, and I had it perfect. And that foot is 100%. Since then, and still is to this day. But last year I picked up a bit of hamstring injury, and it was probably a bit of anxiousness and trying to push it a bit too far. I kept coming back, and it regressed on me twice as well, which was quite frustrating. But as injuries go, I was so lucky. But I invested so much time into myself and into my body and looking after it, and being able to go out there and perform takes a lot of time and demands. And I'd like to think that I looked after myself as best as I possibly could, and got the best out of myself. But it probably was at times frustrating when you had such a good run of a career where you didn't miss that many games, to start picking up knocks along the way.
Another thing that every journalist probably refers to is this infamous speech, I suppose, at half time against Galway in 2015. Now that you're kind of stepping away from it, are you able to tell us what went on there, or would you rather keep it between the four walls? Or was there this big roof-raising speech? It
wasn't this big roof-raising speech. It was, I think what happened is that the lads had seen, my career, and obviously had seen how much I put into the jersey, and I'd injured myself, and I never worked as hard as I had to get back, and I got back to being a sub on it, and I worked so hard, and the lads probably seen the effort that I put in the gym, just to keep, even when I was in a cast, I'd have my foot up and I'd be on a hand bike or something like that. And I suppose the lads seen, God, here's a lad who can't be here, and he's literally doing everything in his power to push us on. God, we're lucky to be out there, and I think that's what triggered them off. And I wasn't urging them to do it for anyone else, but just to do it for themselves. And I said, look at lads, if we stay going the way we are, picture it, Andy Smith going up getting those the steps to get the cup. And I think that really triggered the lads, where they said, hold on a second, we're not allowing this happen. And that kind of where I only spoke for probably a minute or so, but I spoke with unbelievable passion and heart, and I think the lads, that kind of motivated them.
Yeah, and you're a big figure at this stage. You're 32 years of age, or 33 or whatever, going when you're making that speech, so there's guys, a lot of the younger lads there looking up to you. It's total opposite maybe of where you were at the start of your career, obviously. But just to move on a little bit then, I think April this year was probably your last game on the field to play. You were due to play the Dublin game, I think, and you pulled up then injured. So that was obviously very disappointing.
It was, and I was in good shape. And I always remember a week before we played Dublin, the Dublin footballers were playing Laois here in the park. So on the Saturday evening, we obviously couldn't train here. So we went up to Port Laois and we trained in really hot conditions, played a game, and I was moving very well. And then at the end of the game, we did a simple shooting drill. I was jogging around with Conor Fordy shooting at probably 30-40%, and I just turned ever so slightly, and I could feel my hamstring tightening up, and I was like, there's no way I could have hurt my hamstring, I'm only going about 30%. And I went in and I found out I had a grade 1 strain in it, and a week later I couldn't play for Dublin, and I was down to play, which is very tough. But at the time I thought, if we get over this now, I'll get the hamstring back right again. But unfortunately I never got back in again after that. And that's testament to the lads that came in. I mean, Shane Prendergast came in and did an excellent job. Rob Lennon was excellent that day again, Dublin. And that's the nature of Kilkenny hurling. You lose out, someone else gets in, and that's how everyone gets their first opportunities. How I started, and it's not the way I would have liked to end in. But that's sport. Sometimes you what it did do with last year really made me appreciate my career and the longevity of it, the great days I've had. I've been lucky to play so many games, many games, and look, I would have loved to have been able to play last year and contribute, but it wasn't meant to be, and that's sport.
You mentioned it was a testament to Prendergast and the lads coming in there. It was also a testament to you, Jackie, and you deserve a bit of credit here, because you were the man in training pushing these lads, and obviously if you hadn't been doing that, they would have took their eye off the ball, and they either wouldn't have been there or they would have been showing up. So that obviously played a huge part too, in the last 2 years, we'll say. Yeah,
it would, and that would be the culture within Kilkenny, is that if you're not playing, you get the lad in your jersey playing. Or I was thinking of it as like, right, if I'm not playing, I'm going to be playing in a match of 15 on 15. I could be marking John Joe Farrell, or I could be marking, Colin Fennelly. I need to get him ready for when he's playing whoever next weekend, and that was the way I thought about it. I said, right, what is, say if Colin Fennelly was marking Noel Connors, what's Noel Connors going to throw him? Right, well, I'm going to bring that today at training, and I'm going to be stuck in Colin Fennelly, so that when he goes to Croke Park next week, the intensity I bring, he's not going to be he won't have witnessed before, and that's the way the Kilkenny thing was ran. And also I was obviously pushing myself in the best picture possible that Brian and them would consider me for being part of the 26 first, and then obviously if I impressed enough into the 15. And that's the mantra within Kilkenny. It's about, if someone loses out, it's the next man up, and we're all pushing for a common goal.
Yeah, and I suppose that brings us to the All-Ireland, and it was very disappointing this year obviously to lose that, and frustrating for yourself that you didn't get in there. And then that kind of brings us back around to where we are today, and we're looking at the club scene. I actually seen you playing up in Comer this year, against Comer and Ballyraggett. You really drove on there in the second half, and I felt you were a team that there was a good bit in you, but it didn't quite work out. I think it was Loughlin Gales defeated you then, wasn't it, after that?
It was, yeah, and we had a good win against Comer, and then obviously O'Loughlin's beat us, but there wasn't a whole lot between ourselves and O'Loughlin's. I felt on the day that probably the bit of a difference was in the first half we were on top, and we didn't probably get enough scores, and that was probably a bit of inexperience, because we have an older group of core players, but we have a lot of younger players, and I feel last year would have definitely stood to our lads, and with some great younger lads coming now, and it's just to bring them on. And obviously Steph and Owen are going back, so obviously to train, and hopefully that'll bring it on a bit. But we're not that far away. You see, O'Loughlin's got to a Leinster final this year, so there's not a whole lot between probably 4, 5, 6 teams in Kilkenny, and we're not that far away. So it's just to get that extra couple of percent out of everyone, and that bit of experience that the guys would have got last year. Hopefully that will stand to them. But I'm hugely looking forward to going back to the club. I can't wait. I love James Stephens, and when I went in with Kilkenny, I always said when I finished with Kilkenny, I want to be able to go back and give 2, 3, maybe 4 years at senior with the village, and give everything I have to the club. That gave me a great opportunity to go live my dream for 14 years. So it's the least I could do.
That's the nature of the career. It begins with the club and it ends with the club, and whatever happens in between is fantastic. But that's really what it is at the end of the day, I suppose. And now you can, along with Owen, you can throw in your lot with the club and go hell for leather from, I suppose, January onwards. And that's another interesting challenge, and it's one that you're looking forward to, because you haven't had the opportunity to fully focus on that for, what, say 15 years? Yeah, the guts of 15 years. Like people say, you had 14 great years with Kilkenny. Like,
I don't really look at it like that. I had 2 great years with Kilkenny minor. I'd 2 great years under 21 before. So like you're coming in 16, 17, 18. I'd 18, unbelievable years with Kilkenny, and it's just the nature of the game that your club does suffer because your inter-county lads are away for long periods and that. But I'm so looking forward to going back, and it is another challenge, and I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and there's look, I said it to you off air beforehand, we're conscious that this isn't going to be a this is your life sort of thing. This is only the start of a new chapter. You have loads of things going on. Did I hear the word marriage mentioned as well somewhere? Yeah,
getting married this time next year now. So that's I'm really looking forward to that, getting married down in lovely Kerry, so really looking forward to that next year now as well. And it'll be interesting because my best man is actually the senior trainer as well, so we're trying to fit Stag in a very congested fixture scenario, so that has its own challenges, but I've so much to look forward to next year and the following years and things like that, and that's the beauty of the game. You just move on, and I'm looking forward to being a Kilkenny supporter next year and going to the games and cheering on the lads, and nothing would fill me with more pride than to see the lads going up there next year and doing a job and bringing another All-Ireland back to Kilkenny.
And just a couple of things before we finish up. One question, you've seen JJ Delaney move into the punditry role. Is that something that interests you? Could you see yourself as a pundit with radio or TV, or even maybe writing a column?
Yeah, I'd never say never. Like, I'm hugely passionate about the game. I love watching the game. I love kind of delving into the depths of the tactics and things like that. So yeah, it could be something that maybe might happen in the future. As I say, I'm a Kilkenny supporter now. And I love going to big games, and you can't beat a good game of hurling. And it's something that I love doing. So watch the space.
And obviously, the last thing I'm going to ask you, you've had a number of highlights. If I was to put the gun to your head now, what would you say is your biggest highlight so far?
Biggest highlight so far? Biggest highlight so far? It would probably be sitting down in the middle of Croke Park in 2014 after winning the All-Ireland, and the streamers coming down from heaven, and we after beating Tipperary, and there's a lovely picture of myself, JJ, Tommy, Killian Buckley, Paul Murphy and Owen Murphy sitting in the middle of it, and just there's a smile and a contentmentness with us that's just it's just beautiful. It's something lovely, and I always look back at that moment. So that would definitely be my highlight probably. No, never would I even thought I wouldn't won All-Ireland or that, and when I get the opportunity with Brian, it was my dream to be part of a Kilkenny panel, and it just took off from there really. But it's I love the medals and the achievements, they're massive, but kind of within that there's just so many great moments and friends that I've made out of it, and that's kind of the real tangible thing that you take from it. Like I spoke with that the 14 replay, 2013 playing Tipperary in Nolan Park, all the way back to captain Kilkenny in 06, and there's so many kind of magical moments in there. And when I think of my career, they're the things that jump out on me. Obviously the 9 All-Ireland medals is really, really great, and I'm so honoured and humbled to have that, but it's those magical moments that kind of make it in between it that are really just the great things to look back on.